Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Grant. We got a very great and exciting show for you today. There are shows that you really get excited about, and then there are shows that you really get excited about. And this is one of those shows where you really get excited about. We got, as you can see there on the ticker, our guest is Dandy Don McGrath. I've known Dandy Don for several years. He's the speaking geek. He's going to be sharing all the great information about how you can make a dynamic email message, the ones that people open and read and the ones that people want to respond to you. Oh my goodness. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play one commercial. I'm not going to run any more commercials on the TV show because I want to give Don the opportunity to provide as much value to you as he possibly can. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back right after this brief message.
Hi, and welcome to the Messages of Inspiration and Hope show that's proudly sponsored by the 6-Minute Webinar. Today we have some exciting and very interesting guests, real people just like you and me. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the show. Now here's Jim.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited to bring Dandy Don to the stage today. And let me just simply say, when you meet Don McGrath, he's the same way in person that he appears on a TV screen. I've known him for years, and he has earned the name of Dandy Don because I tell people, he is the friend that you haven't met yet. He's also the speaking geek. You will see how the value he's going to bring in creating emails. So let me bring Don to the stage here. Hey, Don.
Jim, how are you doing, man?
Good doing to talk great. To you. Oh, yeah. So glad to have you on. You know, you were on our first show back on November the 30th. And I tell you what, since then, I mean, this show has really taken off. And I got just a little bit of feedback there from your speaker, Don, if you can just turn that a little bit, please, sir.
All right. Is that any better?
Yes, sir. No, I still hear my echo.
Huh. I don't know what else to do. How bad is it?
Well, it's a little bit. We're not going to worry about it because you're going to be doing most of the talking, my man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Jim, I'm kind of in the Christmas spirit. I don't know about you, but we're coming up to the 12 days of Christmas. We just went down and had 12 months of 2020, and we're looking forward to the 12 months of 2021. So, you know, I know that you have a really great offer for people to come and be a guest on your show. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. But what would you say if for the first 12 people who contact you about being a guest, would you also be like Santa and give them the special gift of maybe being on Your Future Is Now?
You know, I hadn't thought about that, but that's really a great idea because the radio show, I do 6 live shows a week, 5 here on TV on E360 TV and 1 on TogiNet. It's a live radio show. It gets converted to a podcast. We've had over 5 million downloads of that show. We're on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Podcast. Goodness, we're on about 15 different platforms. But yeah, I'll be glad to do that. Sure. That's a great idea, Don. Thanks.
Ho, ho, ho. You can thank Santa Don for bringing that to you. Anybody who contacts you, Jim, and says, hey, Santa Don sent me your way to get this very special gift.
Absolutely. Before we share our screen and let you get into what you want to do, I want to let the folks out there know that if you have a question, I'm going to be monitoring the comments. And so if you got a question for Don, please, just send us a comment and I'll be glad to ask him and we'll go forward.
So this is a little bit different than most of the shows that you do, Jim. And let me just kind of tell the people the story about how this came up. So, we ran a promotion. I wrote an email and we sent it out to our list, inviting people to be on the show. And I remember you and I had a meeting. And I was like, we should probably check and see how that's doing. And I went in and I checked and turned out there were several people who had signed up to be guests. And while we were there, another one ordered. And so Jim was like, holy crap, Don, you're getting pretty good at crafting these emails. Because it was one email and the earnings per click was good. The open rates were I was going through that with Jim. And Jim's like, man, people need to hear this. He says, what would you think about coming on the show and doing like a mini course on what you've learned? And what do you think I said, Jim?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I had to bring him on the show because when I shared with Preston Martelli, who's a marketing expert, our open rate, he says, "Oh my gosh, Jim, that's off the chart." Everybody knows that, and it's just fantastic. But yes, absolutely. And I want to, give you as much time to share with the folks out there and give them all the value you can, Don.
All right. So let me go full screen on my slides here.
Okay.
Can you see that okay, Jim?
Well, let's see. I got to add it to there we go.
All right. So should I take it away?
Yes, sir. Please do.
So as Jim said, I will be sharing keys to monetizing your email list. This isn't emails to your sisters and brothers and whatever. This is for your business. So how to monetize your email list. So here's what you're going to get in the upcoming 40 minutes or so that we have. So you're going to learn the major things that you need to understand about email marketing. I'll tell you there's several major things that you need to understand, and I'll break those out, and there's probably a course on every single one of them, but I will share with you what those things are, and we're going to go deep dive into one. We're going to deep dive into what I call copywriting hacks. I will share with you some examples of and copy that I've actually had really good success with, and I'll share with you what I've learned about creating those emails that get really good open rates and good click to opens. You'll understand that in a little bit more, and then great earnings per click. I'll share with you some examples. So who am I and why should you listen to me? So, I was recently on another podcast and a host asked me, so Don, how should I interview you? And I said, well, how should I introduce you? I said, well, you can call me the written and spoken word ninja, because that's what I'm kind of been honing my skills on how to move people to action through the written spoken word. And I love American Ninja Warrior, so I want to be a ninja. And I also, with an engineering background, I also consider myself a marketing message engineer. My genius is moving people to action through the written and spoken word. I've written hundreds of marketing emails, and believe me, the first 100 didn't do all that well. And the first 100 you write probably wouldn't do all that well unless you follow the tips that I'll share with you today. And my emails convert. And I'll share with you some of the examples that I've gotten good success with. So you might be thinking, why use email? Email's old, it's outdated. Nobody uses email anymore. Okay, so here's the deal. So Jim, why do you think we might use email?
Oh my goodness, it gives you an opportunity to get your message out to people. And it also gives you an opportunity for people to say, hey, next time you send me an email, I'm going to open it because you always provide value.
Absolutely. And you have control over it. Unlike when you post something on social media, who has control over sees it? Like, for example, Facebook has control over who sees whatever you post, right? And only about 10% of your posts will be seen by people who are your friends. So you really don't have much control over who sees your post. Therefore, you have to post a lot in the hopes of reaching someone. But email is direct response. You have the address right into someone's inbox. So it's what you call direct response marketing rather than broadcast marketing. A radio show is great. It's broadcast marketing, but I can't reach right out to an individual and reach out and touch them. Another great thing about email is it's a dependable touch without being annoying. Yeah, there's texting, there's messaging, but you know what? If you do too much of that, Jim, what do you become?
You become a spammer. People do not like that.
You become annoying, right? I don't like when my phone is going bing, bing, bing with all these people saying, hey, buy my whatever, like my whatever, right? So people expect to have stuff come into their email that they can dutifully ignore if they wish. So it really is a very respectful means that people have grown to accept offers to come into. It has a really high level of automation and metrics built around it. It's been, decades in the making. So it's really, really great for understanding open rates and things like that. Also, so it is still one of the best marketing strategies. And so bar none. So it's more effective than social media. In fact, most of the strategies that I've seen in social media get somebody on your email list, and then you can really continue to build that relationship. So some people might say email marketing is dead. I say, bah, humbug. No, it's still one of the best. So I want to give an overview about outbound email marketing. Outbound email marketing. And so outbound means I'm sending the email, and marketing means I'm trying to do one of three things. So in my emails, I'm either trying to nurture someone, I'm trying to build my relationship with them so that they trust me and that I can maybe make an offer to them in the future. I might be fulfilling or reminding. So if someone's purchased something from me, I might be sending them the video that I promised them. I might be sending them a reminder to go to the video or go to my boot camp, or I might actually be making an offer. Now, obviously, you don't want to make an offer with every email you send out. Otherwise, Jim, who do you become?
Oh, my goodness. You become someone they just want to ignore and do away with because you're just a nuisance.
You're a nuisance. So there's got to be the right balance of that, right? So that's what outbound email marketing is. So there's several components. So you'll notice on this at the far left, there's something called the contact database. This is where you keep your contact database. And in that, you'll keep people's names, emails, addresses, phone numbers, whatever you care to collect from them. And you'll use techniques like tagging and creating lists, organize, understanding how that person got into your database so you can really manage, you can decide what to send them that's appropriate for furthering your relationship. If you send every email you send out to your whole list, what do you become, Jim?
Oh my gosh, you become ridiculous. And what a word, ridiculous. Because, I get emails all the time. People want me to lose 40 pounds. They haven't seen me.
You couldn't lose 40 pounds, like lop off a leg maybe, right? So it's important to be able to organize that. And that's probably a course in and of itself, but we're not going to focus on that piece. Then there's right below that, you'll see the email sending engine. This is the software where you can organize your emails and send out sequences, which are, you pre-program a sequence of emails to go out with a certain duration. You can also send out broadcasts and you base this all upon how you've tagged people and what list they're on. That too is probably a whole other course. In fact, it's probably a course for each different kind of a system. We use Kartra here at Scale Pathway, and there's multiple courses on that just for Kartra. We're not gonna dive deep into that. Once an email gets sent, there's the receiving email application. So this might be Gmail, it could be Outlook, it could be many other applications that when an email comes in, there's automation that sends it into an inbox. It might send it to spam. It might block it. It might filter it. It might do all kinds of things. And that's probably a whole other class, and we're not really going to focus on that today. Now, once an email gets in somebody's inbox, then the user can do one of several things. They can open it or ignore it, right? And then if they choose to open it, they can click on the link that's in it. And then if they click on the link to it, they can decide to take you up on your offer. So really what we're going to talk about today are emails where you're making an offer, where you're asking someone to click on a link in order to purchase something or schedule a call or take an action. Mm-hmm. So really we're going to focus on when a user decides to open or not, they decide to click or not, and then decide to purchase or not. Does that make sense, Jim?
Absolutely. As you're talking about that, the thing that I have found you to be, you've developed a reputation that when you do send someone an email, they want to open it because they know that you're going to be providing some kind of valuable information to them, and they're just not just going to click on it and just delete it or anything like that. And that's I tip my hat to you in that, Don, because you're really a master at that, brother.
Well, we all need to be masters at that. I'll share with you the key factors on why people open, why people click, and why people purchase. Does that sound good?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So the things you look at when you look at metrics for these is there's something called the open rate, or OR. And that's how many people, what percentage of people actually open the email that goes into their inbox. That's a critically important. And I'll talk about the factors that make that optimize that. Then there's the click to open ratio. If somebody opens your email, what percentage of people actually click on the call to action link that you have in there? And that's critically important, because if they open and don't click on the link, there's no way that they can take your call to action, right? Mm-hmm. So once they click to open, then you present them with an offer. And then there's the final third key metric is earnings per click. And we'll touch on that. That's probably a whole other course, but I'll talk mostly about open rate and click to open. So if you look at the earnings from a marketing email, it's the number of emails delivered times the open rate times the click to open ratio times the earning per click. It's just that simple. So really maximizing the open rate, click to open ratio, earning per click, and also maximizing the number of emails you deliver is absolutely key. Does that make sense, Jim?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So here, this might be a trick question. How many emails do I want in my database? How many email addresses do I want in my database?
I'm thinking.
Here's a hint. I want as many good emails as possible. I want as many good emails as possible. And good mean that they actually get delivered, that they don't bounce, and that I actually have a relationship with them. They know who I am. Buying huge lists of random emails doesn't really work. It just doesn't really work that well. But if you've got good emails, these are people who have opted in, you build some trust with them, they know you. I want to maximize that number. So the more, if I have 100 emails and I make $100 off of sending an email out, if I have 1,000 emails, I'll probably make $1,000 off of sending an email if they're good emails. Does that make sense? And it always amazes me when I get talking to people who are entrepreneurs who do sell things online, and I ask them, do you have a list? And they say, well, kind of. They kind of have it in Gmail or, this is your business. Really, if you sell things online, having a good email list, this is your business. So I would really urge you to, if you're not focusing on this, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. I would urge you to listen up and take some actions along this line. Okay, so why do people open? Here's the two major reasons people open. Number one, you said it, Jim, your reputation. Your reputation. So I get emails from Frank Kern, who's one of the grandfathers of email marketing and marketing in general. I almost always open his emails because I know I'm going to see good stuff. Does he offer me stuff? Yeah. Am I happy? Yes. Because he's got a great reputation. I know that Frank delivers great stuff. People open my emails because I've got a great reputation. They know I'm going to either invite them to a great class, I'm going to make them a great offer, I'm going to provide them some great information. This is the number one most important thing about your emails, about why people open. So this is why you don't want to just get big lists of junky emails. These want to be people that know who you are and believe in you. The second is the subject line. So if you have a terrible subject line, people are not going to open, but it's not that hard. And I'll share with you some tips around that. And then finally, what matters is when they get it. If they get it at 2:00 in the morning, most people aren't going to read it. If it's a business email and they get it on a Sunday morning, they're probably not going to see it. So there is an element of when they get it. In general, sending out during the week is best. In general, between 5 a.m. and 2 p.m. is the best time. So that's the main three reasons that people open their emails. So there's some research done by Pinpoint Marketing, and they found that using a specific personal name, so Don at 6 Minute Webinar, Don at Scale Pathway versus info at Scale Pathway, it makes a huge difference. Because when I send out info at Scale Pathway, that's not me, right? They assume it's some bot out there. But if I say Don and they trust me, they're much more likely to open it. So if you're sending emails from not something doesn't have your name, I strongly suggest you change it because people trust you. They don't trust your email system.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is the second reason people open is because it has a good subject line, that it's a subject line that's relevant. And I'll get into some, I'm going to share with you some good subject lines that I've used. So here are some subject lines that I found performing really well. Just to give you an idea, if you get a 20% open rate, you're doing pretty well. So to get upwards of 25, 26, 29, and 30, you're really doing well. So these were to what I call a lukewarm list. So these are people who are in my email database because they either attended an event, they attended a class, they know who I am. It's not just some real estate agent I met and got their card and put them on my database. They're relevant contacts.
Mm-hmm.
So
Don, which slide are you on, sir?
I am on, it should say top performing subject lines.
I see keys to monitoring your email list.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're still on the first slide?
Yeah, there we go. Top performing subject lines. Okay, great.
Better?
I thought, I hated to interrupt you, but I thought we were a little out of step there. So go ahead.
Did you see the previous ones though?
No, sir. No, sir.
No. You've all been on the first slide.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's
from the keys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should have spoke up earlier.
All right, but you see the top performing subject lines to a lukewarm list. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I wonder if maybe I've got to go to this view or something. Mm-hmm. Let's try that.
Okay.
I'll tell you when I'm changing slides and you can give me feedback.
Will do. Thanks, sir.
Okay. So here's the top performing subject lines. So one subject line I used is, have you heard about the 6-minute webinar? I got 26.6% open rate, which is really good. I'd hate for you to miss out on this, 29%. Free email copywriting 101 web class. Don't miss this free email copywriting 101 web class. All really good open rates. And so the key here, Jim and others, is, it's not that hard. Be clear rather than cute. Mm-hmm. So be authentic. So tell people what they're going to get when they open the email and just create some curiosity. Like, have you heard about the 6-minute webinar? People know that if they open the email, they're going to hear something about the 6-minute webinar. And I just have to create a little bit of curiosity, just enough curiosity for them to open it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So I just changed slides. Can you see this one?
Yes, sir. We're good.
All right. Excellent. So this is, again, that slide that I had showed earlier about outbound email marketing. So the bubble over at the left, contact database, email sending engine, receive email. We're not really going to deep dive into those today. We talked about the open rate. Now we're going to talk about the user clicks the link, the clicked open rate. So Jim, what do you think matters? So someone opened my email because they see my name and they're like, Don always delivers good stuff. Subject line, have you heard about the 6-minute webinar? No, but I want to know more. They click to open, they open the email. I have a link in there for them to click to purchase a ticket, for example. What factors do you think matter for them to do that?
You got to give them a reason to click that, click that link. Because if your email if your email is just blasé, they're going, oh, this is no good.
Yeah, you got to give them a reason, right? You have to. It's all about the copy. Do you see the next slide?
Yes, sir.
This is why people click. It's all about the copy. It's all about the copy. It's all about the content of your email. So now is when I'm going to get really juicy. I'm going to dive into some of the things I've learned about copywriting in email. So get your pen and pencil, people. This is gold. So take notes. This is really, really going to be incredible information. I don't usually give this away. So, okay. So optimizing your email copy. So the first thing that should happen is the first line in your email outside of the person's name. So the first line they read should align to the subject line. So if I have a line that says, come find out about the 6-minute webinar, and then my first line of my email says, hey, I want to tell you about my new tea that I'm selling. what's going to happen?
They're going to be out of there quicker than like that Shania Twain song, "I'm out of here."
Yeah, no one likes to be tricked, right? They're going to say, "Hey, I feel tricked," and they're going to bounce. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the first line is, if I say, "Hey, have you heard about the 6-minute webinar?" Say, "Hey, Jane," whatever their name is, once in a while, a product comes along that's so good, I just have to share it with you. And I want to share with you the 6-minute webinar. So the first line has to relate to the subject. The second thing is, to the extent you can, personalizing those emails will make people click more often than not. Okay, so for example, they're in an email, in any email tool, there's things they call merge fields, which are, like first name. So I can say, hi, I can put a merge field in there. So in an email that goes out to janesutherland@gmail.com, it says, "Hi, Jane," and it personalizes the email. That helps. Use those merge fields. It helps to connect with people, helps to make them feel like, yes, you're doing this with them in mind. Now, if you can segment the email and personalize it for a subcategory, like for example, we've got some of the people in our email list were on this show. They were as messages of inspiration. So if I can craft an email that says, "Hi, Jane, thank you so much for being one of the guests on our Messages of Inspiration TV show." And then so now I've really segmented that list. And now it's very, very personalized. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And the more I can do that, the more successful I'm going to be. Now it's more work, but the more you can do it, the better off you're going to be. Then you present the problem. Okay, most of us struggle with writing email that converts. I've seen that most people send out emails and they get like 1 or 2 or 3% open rates, and they get really, really frustrated. So you present the problem. Then you present the opportunity. Well, I would like to share with you this web class I'm doing about how to get 20% open rates and 20% click to open rates, right? Then you share with them the benefits. And I love to do these in the form of benefit bullets. Why might I use bullets, Jim?
Well, people can glance at them very quickly. They don't want to have to sit there and read 4 or 5 paragraphs. Exactly.
Benefit bullets get right to the heart of it. You just tell them exactly what they're going to get. 5 bullets that say, when you attend this, you're going to learn this, that, and the other thing. Okay. Very clear. You have a clear call to action. Click this link to register for this valuable course. Creating scarcity, saying, well, there's only 25 spots in this course, so sign up now. Give people a reason while they're sitting there with your email open to click on the link. Otherwise, they're going to say, "Oh, I'll come back to this later." And what happens, Jim?
It's too late then, because when you put a limit on something, it should be a limit. That builds credibility.
But if they go away to eat dinner, chances are they're not going to come back.
No, they won't.
So creating scarcity, and like Jim said, it should be authentic scarcity, not say, "I've got 1 ticket left," when you don't care, right? That's not authentic scarcity. But if you say, "Hey, I'm offering this for the next 24 hours," and you do, that's authentic scarcity. But creating, giving them a reason to act now rather than later. Because you know what? We're all busy and we all say we're going to get back to stuff. And by not doing these things, you're not helping people. And that's your goal, is to help people, right? So you want to use every tool that you have for them to have the opportunity for you to help them. Also, you want to have somewhere between 1 and 3 clicking opportunities on your call to action link in the email. 1, if it's a really short email, like, "Hey, I just wanted to remind you come to the boot camp, click on this to join," right? That would be 1. Most emails where I'm going through this whole thing where I'm presenting the problem, presenting the opportunity, presenting benefit bullets, I'll typically have 3 links, and I'll always hypertext. I never use long email. What happens when you see a big long URL that someone wants you to click, Jim?
It just looks so unprofessional. People know that it's just kind of like you got misspelled words in your email. It just looks very unprofessional and doesn't look clean or anything. It's got to look clean and neat.
And it can even be scary, right? Like,
Mhm.
where is this going to bring me? Like backslash, ampersand, scary looking equal signs, right? So use hypertext. And typically I'll have one link early in the email for fast actors, because there's some people who love everything you do. And the minute you give them an opportunity to click on something, they're just going to click. So usually one, like if it's a web class, I'll say, this email marketing web class, maybe in the second paragraph, and I'll just hypertext that. Then later on, maybe 2/3 of the way through the email, I'll say, click here to register, and I'll use hypertext. And then I typically will use one in a PS, a postscript, after your signature. PS, don't miss this opportunity to come to this valuable email marketing web class. Click here. Does that make sense, Jim?
Absolutely, sir. And I was going to ask you, if you give me the information on that link, I'll be glad on your class you're going to be putting on. I'll be glad to put it in the banner there, sir.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I'm doing one on, I'm actually doing one on I call Beyond the Landing Page this coming Saturday. So I'll share that with you and you can share that. That would be wonderful.
Okay. Yeah. I'll put it right in there.
All right. So here's a case study. Here's a case study one. This is a real example from an email I sent a while ago. So this was to a lukewarm list of around 650 contacts. It was a 2-email sequence promoting a $99 6-minute webinar bootcamp. So I sent out 2 emails. So there was 170 opens on number 1, which is 26% open rate. 188 opens on number 2, 28% open rate. There were 10 clicks on number 1. So it was a 6% click to open, and 7 clicks on number 2, which is 3.7% click to open. So I was kind of just getting better at this. I've now been more up at like the 8 to 10 or 8 to 11% click to open. But still, from that email, I had 5 purchases at $99. And so that turned out to be $29.11 per click. So earning per click of $29.11 and 76 cents per email I sent in the sequence. So now that was from 650 emails. Now imagine if it was 6,500 emails. Okay, so instead of $500, it would be $5,000 in sales. So would you like that?
Oh, yeah, I think everybody, yeah.
And this is possible. This is all possible. So that's why when I say this is your business, if you're not doing this, you're letting down people because you're not reaching all the people that you could, and you're also not maximizing your business. Is this a useful case study, Jim?
It really is. That's why I wanted to bring you on, because all the value that you bring. And like I say, this is not a traditional show that we do. Normally it's an interview, but this here is so valuable to the audience out there. You're going to want to know more about Don and get in touch with him because he's that valuable. So please carry on, sir.
All right. I'm kind of reticent to go into full screen mode because I think that screwed us up last time. So I'm just going to keep to this mode. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is an actual email, and I don't expect you to read the whole thing, but I wanted to walk through what made this useful. So this is the first email of that sequence. So here is the subject. Have you heard about the 6-minute webinar? The purpose of that is create curiosity and tell them what they can expect, right? Just like I said, this is what makes a good subject line. I created a little bit of curiosity, tell them what to expect. Then I personalized it. I said, hey, there's the merge field, first name. So a person's first name would get inserted in there. Then I say, webinars are one of the fastest and easiest ways for you to make money online. Many entrepreneurs, just like you, are making a couple $100,000 per year using webinars. So that is consistent with the subject, right? So that makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been busy looking for that one site there to get the for your class this Saturday.
All right. Well, I can send that to you later.
Okay.
So yeah, that's consistent with the subject. Then you state the problem. Here's this problem. Well, webinars take a lot of time and a lot of energy. So you explain what the problem is. a little bit of social proof. So somebody found this was one of the best programs they ever attended. You tell them what to do, what they get when they take the call to action. They get a 3-hour boot camp for just $99. Now, I've had vigorous discussions with people about telling someone, forecasting the price before they click on the link. I've got really good response forecasting the price. I think I get worse response if I hide the price and wait till someone clicks on it. I'd rather, if it's not right for them and they don't have the money, I'd rather them bounce than go click on the link just to falsely up my click to open rate, right? Because what I really want is the earnings per click. So I tell them what the price is right then and there. And then I give 3 opportunities to act on the call to action. So here's one. Here's the first place. So here's what someone who attended the last 6-minute webinar boot camp had to say. So there's one opportunity for them to click and register. Here's another one where I say, here's the link to register. And another one where I say in the PS, click this, take advantage of this offer. So you see how this isn't rocket science? Mm-hmm. It's not rocket science. It's just, it's a recipe that's based upon human nature. All right. So here's the second email. Subject line, I'd hate for you to miss this. So create a little bit of curiosity, tell people what to expect, personalize it. Then every now and then a product comes along that I don't want you to miss out on. So again, that's matches and supports the subject line so people won't bounce. Then create an opportunity, tell them what they're going to get, give them the call to action, 3 opportunities to click. Is that cool, Jim?
Oh, it really is, because I like what you taught me to put that link up there first for the fast readers. They just want to, okay, let me click here and I'm gone,
Because if you're doing a good job and you're building a great reputation, really, there will be people who want everything you do. Mm-hmm. They will go to every web class you do. They'll buy every product. I mean, those are your super fans. So that link is for your super fans. Give them the opportunity not to waste their time and have to read your whole email when they just want to get what you have, right? All right. So here's another case study. This was to a warm list. So this was to our Messages of Inspiration speakers. So they had just been on our show. I send one email announcing a free web class. It was the What's Your Pivot web class we did in the springtime. There was 121 emails sent. I had a 71% open rate. 71% of those people clicked on this email. And it was about a What's Your Pivot course. It wasn't about being on another show even. It's just they were super fans at that point, right? Mm-hmm. And then everybody signed up. Pretty much everybody who clicked signed up. So it was actually a really great example. So here is that email. So subject line wasn't even that good, I don't think. I just said, what is your pivot? Create a little bit of curiosity, tells them what to expect. This was during the pandemic and people were talking about pivots. So people probably understood a little bit about that. Personalized it. Then I really personalized it. I said, thanks for stepping forward to be one of our speakers. We will feature on our virtual stage. Together, we will help a lot of people. So I was really, really focused on really segmenting this to be very, very strong about reaching them in particular. Mm-hmm. Then state the problem and the pain, something they want, what they get, call to action. And then in this case, I used an image for the signature. So really simple, right?
It's clean and simple. It's very right to the point. I like that. And by the way, Donna Gainwell just sent me a message and says she's loving this show. And thank you, Donna.
Awesome. Awesome. I was just going to say, do you think this is useful for people?
Oh, yeah. Because we normally do interviews here and things of this nature, but with the value that Don is bringing, I wanted him to just open up and just, like I told him, just open up the books and show people why you're the speaking geek.
All right. Well, let's just keep going. Case study number 3. This was a lukewarm list of 600 people. It was a two email broadcast promoting a $100 page in a compilation book. So I was promoting someone else's product. I did that because I thought it would be a great service to the people on our list. It was a great opportunity for $100 to have your own page in a compilation book. So two emails, 137 opens on the first, 21% open, 14 clicks, 153 opens on, that should say number 2. Sorry, I had a typo. 153 on number 2, and then 19 clicks on number 2. So from that, we actually had 10 per.
Your audio is going down a little bit, Don.
Plus $400 in upsells. So that's $21.20 per click, or a little over $1 per email sent. Who would like that?
I think everybody would, wouldn't he?
Who would like, for every email you send out, you get $1. That's pretty good. Because how much does it cost you to have that to send out that email?
It costs you the same as playing a game on a computer.
Virtually nothing, right? This is if you're not developing a list, and you see, this isn't a list of like 50,000 people, right? We often convince ourselves that if we don't have a huge list, that it's not worth our while. It's worth. Could you use an extra $1,000 a month? And you can do that easily with a list of just hundreds of people with the right emails and the right offer. All right, case study number 4. Actually, I need to find that. Okay, hang on a second.
Well, while you're doing that, I was going to share with the folks, the way the show got kicked off was during the pandemic. And we came together on March the 18th about what can we do. And Bill Heinrich, one of our executive training directors, says, hey, we're all at home. We can't go anywhere. Why don't we just get on Zoom and get on Facebook Live, and let's just start, getting speakers to come on and just share a message and that sort of thing. And it grew from that. We went through about 3 different sessions on that. And then one of the ladies that saw and was familiar with us, she introduced us to the E360 TV show. They reviewed what we did, and we got invited to join the E360 TV network, which broadcasts all over the world to millions of devices. So, but here again, it's all about giving and helping people in their hour of need. And that's why Don is here today, to give and give back to you, to share with you things that he has learned. And it's our gift to you. So please share this with others.
So this is like my go-to email structure. This is like, if I don't have any other more creative thing to do, and I wanna bring people to a call to action and make an offer, this is what I do. So subject line, just something to create a business. This example is my storytelling for fun and profit web class that I do. So here's the subject line about storytelling. Open up. Everyone loves a good story. Talk about what the problem is, right? Here's the problem. Most people don't use stories in their business. And then say, I'll be teaching this web class, storytelling for fun and profit. Here's the benefit bullets. Here's when it is. Here's the scarcity, 25 spots. All you got to do is register, and then PS, click here. You see how simple that is, Jim?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me just humbly say, ladies and gentlemen, Don is throwing a lot at you. He teaches a lot of classes. You see the email address there, don@6minutewebinar.com. Send him an email, and he won't jam up your email address or your box or anything like that, but ask him about some of the classes he's putting on where you can attend and get this kind of training.
Thank you, Jim. Mm-hmm. So that's email number 1 is the longest. It has the most detail in it. Second email, it just is a little bit more brief. So here's about the storytelling. It just says, hey, I want to know how to use storytelling in your business. A little bit about the power of stories. You can do this too. Benefit bullets. Here's when it is, little scarcity. Here's how to register. Really, really simple. And then finally, there's the third email is typically, hey, I just don't want you to miss this. In case you missed my last email for this web class where you can learn how to grow your business using storytelling. I know you're busy, so I'll keep this short. Here's all you got to do. Here's the benefits. Here's when it is. Here's all you got to do. So do you think most people can do this, Jim?
Absolutely. And I'd like to ask a question, Don. How much time is in between these different emails, if you'd share that, sir?
Yeah, so I would typically send one email. Let's say I'm doing a web class on a Saturday, which is when I often do my web classes, I would probably send the first one out on Monday, the second one out on Wednesday, and the final one out on Friday. Now, if I've got something that's a more of a time commitment, if something's like a full day or a 2-day, I might actually start that maybe a month beforehand with just one email, just giving people a heads up. Hey, mark the calendar. And then 2 weeks out, I might say, hey, have you marked your calendar? You'll be, and tell them a little bit about it. And then 1 week before. Most people won't commit to stuff, especially now, since we don't have to travel and get on planes and stuff. Most people aren't going to commit till the week of or within days of a class or event. It's just the way things are right now. All right. Was that useful?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I tell you right now, I've attended a lot of Don's classes, and when Don puts on a class, I mean, he just pulls back the curtains and say, "This is the sweat equity I've learned in my life." And just by you watching this show today, I know Don has saved you a bunch of disappointing work. We're talking hours and hours of disappointing work. Some people never get this far and they just quit and give up. And now you've got this in your hip pocket. That's great. Go ahead, sir.
I just want people to know it's really not that hard. Don't fool yourself into thinking you've got to have tens of thousands of emails. You could do this with just a couple hundred emails. But they have to be in a system where you can really get metrics, see what's working, see what's not working, and set up sequences. So when you get busy and forget to send something out, it still goes out. So if you can just start today, and in a year, if you had a couple hundred emails, that is a valuable, valuable piece of your business. So I want you to feel like this is not difficult. Don't wait, just start. And it's not that difficult. All right. So here's my takeaway tips on the email piece. So segment and personalize 1 to 3 of the same call to action. So 1 call to action per email. Not like, oh, you could do this, or you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. I know we offer a lot of things, but what happens when we have multiple calls to action, Jim?
People get confused. They're just, as a shotgun effect. They can't focus on the one thing that you really, the reason why you send them an email should be for one specific purpose.
One specific thing. Because they're like, well, maybe I'll go research this, or let me think about it. No, you just want people to take an action, yes or no. Avoid the use too much all caps. If you use all caps in your subject line, a lot of those inbox emails will filter you out as spam, or they'll block you. Because they know a lot of spammers have used lots of capital letters in their subject lines historically. So just don't do that. And I would avoid using too many. It's kind of cheesy. You don't want to use too many capital letters. Doesn't really get people's attention. It just makes you seem kind of spammy. The first line should mirror the subject. Use a postscript. Because same way as there's fast actors, there's skippers. There's a lot of people who will skip right to the end and say, what are you asking me to do? So your PS, include your PS, give them a call to action, tell them what they're going to get. And the people who are skippers might take you up on your offer. Time matters. When you send it does matter. The weekends are not as good unless you have something that's a hobby for someone, right? Because they might not read your email at work, but they're at home on the weekend. They might read your email. So be conscious about when you send your emails. Use benefit bullets to summarize, because, make it easy for people. Don't teach. Your marketing emails are not to teach. That's not the right place for teach. Teach at your web class. People will not, they'll zone out, right? They're not there to learn. Avoid jargon. So if you've got lots of jargon, try to speak to a 6th grader. Your email should be understood by a 6th grader. So use powerful but simple language. It's
like being an author. I mean, you're not going to put together an email where people are going to read your book. You're just going to give the high points. Don, also too, when people don't have much of an email list, one thing that we've all learned, and I wanted to share this with the folks, when you have a reputation of being credible and people know that you do not send out junk, you can ask people who have bigger lists than you to ask them, would you be kind enough to forward this to your list? And many times they will, won't they, Don?
They will. And you got to have a great reputation, right? Because they, like you say, I've been saying, your list is it's a valuable piece of your business. You wouldn't let people into your books. You know, you wouldn't let people into your course area, your valuable content. But if I know, like, and trust someone, like for that book that we promoted, that was an affiliate promotion, I know, like, and trust the people who are doing it. I thought it would be of value, and it was of value. People loved that offer. The thing is, if you expect someone else to promote your stuff, you have to give them email copy. They are not going to go to your website. They're not going to craft those emails. They are not. So if you want to leverage relationships, you need to learn this for even more, right, Jim? I mean, so whether this is to your own list or this is to someone else's list, you need to learn how to write a good email.
Exactly. The easier you make it, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah. I mean, if you make it hard for someone, I had someone come to me and say, hey, can you promote my event? And I said, yes, send me your swipe copy. And they sent me like a brochure. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend 2 hours like going through this brochure and copy and pasting and crap. I just didn't do it. And I gave them that feedback. I said, I just can't. So if you really want to leverage other people, you want to make it as easy as possible. Like we do on 6-Minute Webinar. We have an affiliate page with a 3 right there. There's 3 swipe emails, right, Jim? And, ones that you and I worked on.
Absolutely.
So, okay. The final thing is the earnings per click. So somebody opened your email, they clicked on the link, and now you want them to complete the purchase. So Jim, what do you think? What factors do you think cause them to purchase versus not purchase?
Well, the value is what comes to my mind. They see the value.
And you present that value on some kind of a landing page, right?
Yes.
So they'll click on a link. It'll take them to some sort of a landing page, right? Don't bring them right to a checkout. They're probably not going to like pay $99 right then and there without a little bit more information. So in general, you'll bring them to some kind of a landing page, and where you'll have the chance to maybe you'll talk to them in a video. Maybe there'll be some good copy on there. Maybe there'll be more details of what they get, maybe some testimonials. But the reason people will buy are 2 things: the technology. It's got to work. Like your links have to work, and it's got to have good response. It's got to be really good technology. Okay. So that's why we use a platform like Kartra, because it's really good technology. It's responsive. Somebody clicks on the link and they go right to a really nicely designed landing page. And then your copy on your landing page. And that's a whole other course. That's actually a whole other course. But your landing page, just like your email, has to present the problem, the opportunity, give opportunities for fast actors, medium actors, and people who want to understand and study everything. You've got to design that landing page. So I actually do a whole course around landing page design. And I know we don't have time to go into it today, but I just wanted to point out that that is the final step. So if you get all these ingredients worked out, you can achieve the numbers like I did. I'm not a genius. I just figure this out because I did enough of it, right? And I listened to other people who taught me some stuff. So if you do the things that I've shown you how to do today, you can get the kind of results that I showed you today. It's not that difficult.
Great, Don. That is just absolutely great. And the thing about it too is that you actually created Becoming the Speaking Geek out of a need. And the beauty in that is that if you're watching the show today, ladies and gentlemen, and you have a special gift, you want to create that special gift into a package that's deliverable to other people to help them in their hour of need. And that's your calling. And if you're looking to do a business online, please don't respond to some fancy ad. Hey, let me show you how to make $5,000 this week. I mean, those things are train wrecks. The truth of it is, folks like that who are just wanting to dangle a carrot in front of your nose, they're usually struggling to buy the groceries and pay the rent. And
I saw a post yesterday, Jim. You'll love this. It said, I love these kind of fishing kind of questions. If you could spend $5,000 and get $150 million in the next year, would you do it?
Oh, with them, no, because I've been around too long, Don.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
you know, that to me, that's social media fishing.
yeah,
But
and
who would answer no to that, right?
yeah,
But the reality is, when you ask the next question, which is, well, what is there a guarantee? Like, what is behind that? What's required of me?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is always, well, it depends on how well you do. It depends on,
yeah.
you know, how well you implement our magic formula. You can get 9 figures. Yeah, 9 zeros for
Yeah,
that.
non-zero. Yeah, because the thing about those things, they only appeal to people in a desperate hour of need. And when you come from desperation, I mean, you're going to go broke. I mean, the best way to do it is reach out and help someone else and start sharing your gift with others. And guess what? You're going to be blessed, especially if you help some, you know, if you ask people to help you, guess what? They will help you once they're done. They really
Hey,
will.
building the business is just like building a house.
Mhm.
You go to people who know how to build houses
Mhm.
and you have them do the stuff you can't do. You do the things that you can do. And you know what? You don't expect it to be done overnight, right? You're like, well, I know this is going to take some time, but you know that you're patient. You build a house not on quicksand. You don't build it with duct tape and baling wire. You build it to last. And that's, I mean, what I presented today, I didn't learn overnight, right? I didn't go take a class and learn this, right? I learned lots of stuff from Dustin. I learned it from other people. I learned it from Brian. I learned from Bill and you and others. And I tried it and I learned what worked for me and what didn't work.
Yeah. Also, too, because a lot of people that Don is associated with, he saw them struggling with the same thing. So he developed his gift and his talent and he's blessed them. And it just dominoes on. You take, for example, Don, we've been on this little E360 TV show that's broadcast all over the place, Roku, Amazon Fire, so on and so forth. But, you know, a couple of people have seen the show, and I got invited to be a guest on a show in England and also one in the Philippines. And that when people are a guest on the show, our job is to help you get recognized as being a celebrity expert to help you, for them to somebody else want you on their show. Because if you're just sitting there, you're pitching, you know, nobody wants a picture on someone pitching a product on their TV show. And that's the way we pay it forward. It just keeps just keeps dominoing on and on. It's a wonderful feeling, isn't it, Don?
It really is. To see, someone called me up recently and they actually texted me and they said, Don, I just did this course and the people invited me back for January. It was out of this world. And it was from some of the things that we had been working on.
Sure.
Those moments, Jim, those moments make all the things that we've done in building this business worth it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'll be responding to a lot of you folks out there that's been responding to me here at E360 TV, inspiration at E360.com. I'll get the email. And, you know, we're out of time here. In fact, we ran over a little bit, but I just wanted to have you on today, Don. And if there's anything that Don can help you with, you want to know more about whatever he's putting on, please email him. And that's his email address right there, don@6minutewebinar.com. And Don, thank you so much for being with us. We're out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful day. Be sure and share the show with others. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.